Hello, welcome to Dungeon Rolls Podcast. I'm your host Justin. Today we're reviewing Harbinger Wars. That's the title there. Published by Valiant Comics. This trade collects 4-issue miniseries written by Joshua Dysart, who's worked on Harbinger comics for Valiant, and Duane Swierczynski, who's worked for Marvel. He wrote Cable and Deadpool and Thunderbolts, and you have art by Clayton Henry, Pere Perez, and I think this is Clayton Crain. That covers by Clayton Crain, yeah, who's worked on X Force, which love that X Force cover for issue 1. I have it somewhere, right? Yeah, so this book is basically about a crossover event featuring Bloodshot, which that's Bloodshot over there, the Harbinger team, which consists of Peter Stanchek and his team Torque, who has incredible strength and durability, Flamingo, who has pyrokinetic, Chris Halfway, who's doesn't have powers. Why is she even there? And Faith, who is a fat chick who can fly. Yeah. Basically, this book is about how Rising Spirit, which is the private security company. If you've seen the Vin Diesel Bloodshot movie, which there was a Bloodshot movie with Vin Diesel, for people who don't know, came out I think like a year ago. I think it was a 2020 film. You'll know about Rising Spirit. Rising Spirit, which is like a company that created Bloodshot, who's at war with powerful psychics. There's a powerful psychic named Toya Harada, who created his own organization of psychics and wants to control all the psychic children, which Rising Spirit Technologies has psychic children under captivity and is using them as weapons, right? Weapons, mostly to clean up their own mess, right? There's a issue here where you have this is Mico Suayan's art, or whatever, however you pronounce his or her name, and you have them fighting like zombies that was created by Rising Spirit in China. There's the zombies, right? I kind of like her art. Yeah, they switch artists here. So yeah, the thing, what happened is you have the Rising Spirit CEO is in trouble from the Secretary of Defense or whatever, intelligence or whatever, and because there was a huge screw up where basically there was like a war where like a bunch of kids, psychic kids, escaped from one of their facilities, and Toya Harada wants to get all the kids and make them join his group, but like he's opposed by Peter Stanchek and his Renegades, which used to be a prized pupil of Toya Harada, who stands against him because Toya Harada is evil. And you have Bloodshot, who used to be a psychic psyop killer, which that's what they call the psychics in this book. Psyops, so lame, right? And like he wants to rescue the kids, but like because he used to kill the psychics, people don't really trust him so much, right? So you have like this like four-way battle. And here's the Generation Zero kids, which is the main fighting group of the Psyop children who need to be rescued, right? Oh, there's a girl. They all have different powers, and one of them is this girl who can turn into like cartoon animals because she's the only animals she's ever seen are cartoons. So she accidentally and she doesn't accidentally. She kills a lot in this book, which is kind of messed up, right? Here's an epic battle between Toya Harada and Bloodshot, right? And you also have, oh, I forgot to mention hardcore is in this book, but they're like middle-aged men. Oh, there's Peter Stanchek and his Renegades. That's Torque, that's the fire chick, I forget his name, Peter Stanchek. The chick with no powers, and the fat one, Amy Schumer, known as Faith, whose only power is she can fly. Which I really enjoyed the hardcore in this book. They're pretty cool. They're basically a special operations who they were they were retired after Bloodshot was created, but like because Bloodshot went rogue, they were blackmailed into working for Rising Spirit again, and they're kind of like psychic soldiers, but that have like augmentations, but but they can only use one psychic power at a time, so they have to download them using the cell like networks, which really pisses off the one guy, right? But yeah, that's cool. So you have like this chick who can project visions, so he uses like true sight and kills her. Yeah. So there's a lot of cool battles here. My problem with the book is, one, there's some cool category art there. So my problem with the book is, I mean, in one thing, they're kind of true to the Valiant like spirit from the 90s, where they were all about, you know, gore and guns and being cool. That's there too, but like here it's like you have a thing where they're kind of too cool. You have the Marvel Ultimates thing where they're kind of too cool for costumes, which you did have some cool costumes in Ultimates, like Ultimate Captain America is probably my favorite Captain America costume, other than the classic. And, you know, Iron Man's suit is cool, you know, and I'm trying to think of other cool Ultimate costumes. I can't think of any right now. But there's a couple. Here, you have, none of them have costumes. All of them, like, have, like, you know, are wearing, like, normal clothes or uniforms. And then there's the problem where, like, you have the kids, psychics, are killing people, and they themselves get killed. And then there's the thing where the Harbinger kids are trying to rescue the psychic kids that are with Bloodshot, right? And they end up fighting them and have no problem killing some of them, right? Which is like, you're there to rescue them, right? And there's also that thing where you have good guys fighting each other and they have misunderstandings, right? But in here, even an Image doesn't do this, where you'll have heroes that accidentally fight each other, but they usually don't fight to kill. Here you have heroes fighting each other and then killing their opponents, right? Yeah. And also, yeah, like I said, there's also kids get killed in this book, so if you're not a fan of seeing kids kill and get killed, this happens in this book, which, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Alright. But there is some cool battles in here, right, and action. But, yeah, it also, just like with the Valiant, which is another Image crossover, sorry, not Image, Valiant crossover, it kind of ends kind of shitty. It has like kind of a shitty ending where, like, you know, the bad guys win, which is like another common theme with, like, I'll see with Valiant, where like the bad guys win once in a while, and then there's the fact that, you know, that apparently there's more books to this, but they only say like volume 3. So I don't know if the first 2 volumes of both series have nothing to do with Harbinger Wars, but they do the thing where, like, oh, if you want to know more what happened with Harbinger Wars, read like volume 3 of Harbinger and volume 3 of Bloodshot. Like, bitch, this was only 4 issues. Why didn't you just write all your Harbinger Wars shit in like one series and make it like 6 issues or whatever. Not give us a 4-issue trade, which this costs like $20 by the way. So that's a little overpriced. It's 15 US. I paid $20 Canadian. There's the other covers, right? Right. Yeah. So like, also they made fun of like hardcore's name, because of course they did, and said like, what is this, like frat boys in the 90s wrote your shit, named your groups, which, honestly, guy, like, we need college frat boys to write our comics again, because, which I don't think they ever did, but like, there was like a thing where they kind of wrote comic books for frat boys, and honestly, comics were better back then, at least compared to how they are now, where they're written by like bloggers with political science degrees, man, only care about writing, how like this Republican is bad and this bullshit. Where this has a very anti-military theme, which that theme is prevalent in a lot of Valiant books. That's the thing that's the difference between Valiant and like Ultimates, where they kind of very similar, but like Ultimates, there's like almost like a neocon political like philosophy. Here it's like just anti-military. Yet our character has, is a cool army man with guns. Most of our superheroes are cool army guys with guns. Ninjak is like a cool army guy with a sword. Oh my god. Yeah. So overall, I thought there was some cool characters in this book, cool action. There was a really cool epic fight halfway through the series, and it kind of, at the end, it kind of, teeters out. It kind of ends kind of anticlimactically, in my opinion, right? And like, right? So like, I'm just giving this a 6.5. Kind of wanted to give it a 7, but like, was not a fan of seeing kids die. They should have made them all teenagers. Nobody likes teenagers. Teenagers are assholes. Teenagers this week. I have a funny story where I was walking my dog, and my dog, during our walk, was freaking out and like ran for cover under this like passing like bus stop bench, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with my dog? And out of nowhere, stupid teenagers on bikes zoomed past me on the sidewalk, almost like hitting me and my dog. And it's like, you're not even allowed to ride your bikes on the fucking sidewalk anymore. But like, I don't really give a shit as long as you're being safe. But like, yeah, fucking teenagers, man. So yeah, they should have aged up the kids. They should have aged up the kids to like teenagers, because there's even like a 9-year-old kid dies in this book, and gets her like consciousness like sucked into this another psychic who has like monsters living in his head. So that girl's, I don't even want to think of what's happening to that girl. Like, holy shit, man. Yeah. So like, yeah, this is a pretty dark book, but if you're a fan of like ultra violence, which it is, it's not totally ultra violent. You're not seeing people like getting their head, like, you're not seeing like super gore, other than like what happens to Bloodshot. Which Bloodshot, at first I kind of hated Bloodshot, or thought he was kind of lame. That he's just like, like a Wolverine / Deadpool kind of ripoff without a cool costume or any like, cool powers. Apparently he does have like cool like anti-psychic powers, which that's kind of cool, man. That he's like designed to fight like psychics and shit. I don't know, that was cool. Yeah, so yeah, 6.5 out of 10. Check it out if you're into like 90s attitude, like ultra violent comics. Though it's not too ultra violent in my opinion. It's not like Crossed, that Garth Ennis book. Oh my god. Which there's like a movie that's coming out called The Sadness, which is a total ripoff of Garth Ennis' comic book The Cross, where you have like these zombie virus where it's like it turns people into like pretty much like psycho